Hi, this is Royce with Viking Wax Press and the Alternative Football Network. This video will review the Showboats' Week 3 loss against the Roughnecks and preview their Week 4 matchup against the Panthers in Detroit. For the third game in a row, the Showboats' game was highly competitive, a close game with the final winner not determined until the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. Sadly for the Showboats fans, they have ended up on the wrong side of the win-loss column in each of these outings. Coming into the game, the Roughnecks were the laughingstock of the UFL, and the fact that Houston coach Curtis Johnson continued to start the massively disappointing Anthony Brown at QB was a complete head-scratcher. Only the most loyal Roughnecks fans had any smidgen of hope that they'd actually win. The first half started exactly as I had predicted, a defensive battle with both teams exchanging punts and field goals. The Showboats broke that mold just before halftime when E.J. Perry connected with Kwame Lassiter on an 8-yard touchdown throw. Kwame also caught the 2-point conversion to put the Boats up 11-3 at the half. In the second half, everything changed. Why? 2 words: Nolan Henderson. When he came into the game to take over at QB for the Roughnecks, it was like a switch flipped. Well, not immediately. He did throw a few incompletions and then fumble the ball once before teammate Kiki Chisholm recovered it, and that seemed to knock a different gear into place. Henderson and the Roughnecks pushed the ball downfield in a hurry and scored their third touchdown of the season. The next 2 Showboats possessions saw Memphis QB E.J. Perry losing his composure and reverting to bad habits. I'm starting to wonder if the J in E.J. stands for Jekyll, because sometimes we get the team leader, field general E.J., and sometimes we get panic under pressure, throw blind passes E.J. His first thrown pick went to Leon O'Neal, who returned it for a pick 6. 3 plays from scrimmage later, you had Roughneck Keenan Isaac stealing another errant E.J. Perry pass out of the air. After that, Nolan Henderson and Emmanuel Butler connected on a TD by Houston to put the Roughnecks up 15-11. Troy Williams took over at QB for the Showboats and made a valiant effort to try and get the Showboats back into the lead after another Houston field goal extended their lead to 18-11. Troy threw a couple quality passes, but his feet made the difference as he gained 35 yards on 4 carries, including the touchdown to bring them within a point with 18 seconds left on the clock. A Houston penalty on the onside alternate gave the Showboats one last chance to win. Troy connected with Kwame Lassiter, but Kwame tried to lateral to keep the play alive, but when the ball fell to the turf, the Showboats' miraculous chances ended. The Roughnecks shocked the UFL world with an 18-17 win. Not terribly far from my 12-9 prediction, just with the wrong team in the win column. I gave Nolan Henderson the credit, but the entire Houston defense deserves just as much credit. Okay, enough of the past. Let's talk about the Showboats' Week 4 matchup against the Michigan Panthers. Michigan is dealing with quite a few injuries to key players, most notably running back Matt Colburn and defensive end Breland Speaks. If the Panthers weren't so deep at D-line, and if the Panthers' explosive new running back Jaden Sheridan was never invented, the big injuries would otherwise lend hope. However, the Panthers' D-line has Kenny Walakis and Garrett Marino. Oh, and don't forget they also have ex-NFLers Levi Bell and Frank Ginda crushing runs and hopes. At running back, Sheridan has already been equated to another Detroit number 20, Barry Sanders. While that's a huge stretch, Sheridan does look like a spinning, scampering spark plug. With Danny Etling out due to injury, Bryce Perkins will get the start and be able to prove once and for all that he should be the permanent starter for Michigan. Michigan's depth at receiver is still there, even after they traded away Marcus Sims. Receivers Sayosi Mariner, Samson Nakua, Devin Ross, and Malik Turner can all gain yards in big chunks. So where does that leave the Showboats? For one, they lost their head coach for the second time in 4 weeks when Ken Wisenhunt stepped down again for personal reasons. Secondly, the Memphis D is going to keep them in the mix every game this season, but the offense, even with league-leading wide receiver Jonathan Adams, doesn't have the depth to match Michigan. I predict the Showboats will lose to the Panthers by a TD, 23-16. Who do you think will win? Tell me in the comments. Stay tuned as I continue to cover the Memphis Showboats for the Alternative Football Network this season. Follow my profile on X and Facebook, and click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more football content, including my helmet rankings for over a dozen pro football leagues. Thanks for watching. This is Royce with Viking Wax Press and the Alternative Football Network. God is good, y'all. Take care.